Alright, welcome everybody, welcome to Phase 3 of the CPL Royale. Exit is already waiting in the finals as the winner of the Phase 2 tournament, and right now we have a Phase 3, it's going to be a one-day tournament, we're going to cast it live. And joining me today is Scimo, and he will be taking over the cast later.
Yeah.
You want to say something, Scimo?
You can. Yeah, that's it's all good. I'm here. There was no. Everyone else is playing in the CSL, so you're stuck with me.
Alright, seems like our players are ready to go, and we're just waiting for final confirmations, and we're gonna jump into the first game.
Alright.
In the meantime, you can enjoy my wonderful overlay skills again, since Data is actually busy today with changing his setup, I think. He's reinstalling something.
Phase 3.
But we have everything we need.
Yeah.
What more do you want? It's all over there on the screen. Phase 3.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Exactly.
Don't look too hard at it.
Yeah, and with that we have game number 1 starting. And pretty tolerable latency, I'd say. Let's see
Okay,
there's something.
Yeah, if anything, I'll hop out if it ever gets too bad, and I'll just cast from the Twitch stream, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's only gonna be for the first 2 matches, really, because earob, Baal, and Kiko are all in Europe, and after that it doesn't really matter.
Alright. Well, in the top left, as our blue Protoss, we have Baal. And in our bottom left, we have earob as our red Protoss.
Yeah, it's gonna be PvP, and while we are in that low when nothing's happening in the game, I'd like to thank everybody for supporting the CPL Royale. So far, we have the donation goal in the top right, so I think we pledged to organize a few more master classes for mirror matchups as well. If we reach a goal, you can track that goal. There are chat commands in on Twitch available. And with that, the other thing, I suppose, for the admin is, yeah, we already have Exit waiting in the grand finals.
Oh, nice. And so where can people go to donate to the CPL?
So, ! donate, I believe. Yeah, it gives you a link with the coffee screen. And also, if you go to the CPL web app, we have all the information there. You can find both the coffee link, PayPal link. You can use whichever you want. Interestingly, we have earob scouting the middle of the map and then going for all the other bases. Seems like he's a bit suspicious from what's going on.
Also looks like earob is going Zealot first, as opposed to the Baal getting their Cybernetics core right away. But it doesn't look like Baal is actually skipping the Zealot.
Yeah, the Zealot just finishing right now. Yeah, he opted to go for a bit of an earlier Cybercore. I think earob is playing very safe here because so the way the bracket is formed currently is all the players played round robin, which was the phase 2, and then based on the scores in the round robin, they get seeded in this series. And earob and Baal were the 2 players with the lowest seeds. That's why we see them playing against each other first. And earob had one more win, and I think in general earob just believes he's slightly superior in this current match. So he's just playing everything safe. And as you can see, he also scouted the middle of the map and went for the Zeld before core. So he's just going ultra safe in case he was a proxy gateway or to gate aggressiveness.
earob also skipping Dragoon range to get that faster robotics facility. They might be, yeah. It could, so, right, so if they get their, like, a Reaver out fast enough, like, the Dragoon range will, the delay in that won't matter so much if you're able to field, like, Dragoons, you know, like, twice as fast as your opponent or something like that.
Yeah, well, there are two main things. So normally you want, if you're going Goon Reaver, you want your Dragoon range ASAP. Otherwise, your opponent Dragoons, even if you have the Reaver, can still exploit you. But normally when you see the super fast Robo in favor of the skipping the Goon range, that means that earob would like to go for a very quick speed shuttle. But we don't see the robotics play. I guess right now he throws it, and he will still go observer first. So a bit of a middle of the road build here from earob we've got. It seems like he really wants to commit to the shuttles, but he also wants to be safe against VPs.
Baal, meanwhile, they're finishing up their expansion. Nexus is about to be up pretty soon, and they've added on 2 extra gateways, so their core gateway force is going to be a lot stronger than earob's. So I guess it's kind of, it's that, you know, the PvP aspect of, like, it gets a little bit into that rock, paper, scissors aspect where, like, the players just are picking 2 completely different styles, and I'm not sure how exactly they would compare with Baal going for a... I don't know if I would say it's more aggressive with just skipping out on getting that early tech and focusing more on a gateway-heavy composition starting off, versus earob kind of slow rolling out their expansion, getting a Reaver up, playing extremely safely. But yeah, Baal's moving across the map right now to try to leverage the fact that they have a much larger Dragoon count, that they're going to be able to reinforce that Dragoon count a lot faster than their opponent. And it seems like earob has been playing safely to ensure that they don't just lose to DTs or anything. But Baal, going for this strategy, it almost you know, will counter that. It's playing greedily in the face of earob playing very defensive.
Yeah, currently earob should be in a disadvantage just because of that Nexus and the Eco-Lead, but his Reavers might be what matters in the end. Currently we have Baal not really wanting to engage because he doesn't want to engage into a Reaver. earob will most likely be getting that second Reaver to really bolster his defenses. And I think shuttle speed upgrade is already researching.
Okay, well, the first shuttle is out. So if Baal isn't careful, they'll be able to sneak into an expansion or even into the main, take out the majority of the probes there. However, Baal already setting up their third base, and the main thing they're going to be trying to look for is to just keep out expanding their opponent, and if they ever do decide to get aggressive, they're going to want to make sure that they pick off that Reaver first.
I'm not sure that earob actually saw the 2 Dragoons that Baal set up to intercept a potential. Ooh.
Yeah, this is a great moment for
the Reaver is not currently in the base. A second Reaver being produced just now, but it does not have Scarabs, only now making his first Scarab.
Okay, Scarab shot, but I mean, this expansion's dead, right? if Baal plays aggressively and postures forward, they'll at the very least be able to take out most of these probes.
Yeah, it really depends on the worker micros. It seems like earob just decided not to micro his workers at all in order to try and to bug out the Dragoons. The expansion will most likely not die, but the Shadow is already in the main. And
5 probes killed by the Reaver. Oh, but it's being
meanwhile, we
distracted by
have
the
Baal picking up the Europe's Reaver in his natural, and he's just forced to return, but he loses the Shadow, and that looks like it's gonna be a win for Baal.
Yeah, this has to be a win here. The probes get pulled to fight the Dragoons.
Yeah, only now is he trying to use the workers in a more defensive posture, but I think it's a bit too late. He might survive this first attack, but already Europe's economy is very far behind.
And with 5 more Dragoons being rallied down, I think, yeah, earob is probably just not going to be able to hold unless he pulls off a miracle here.
I mean, let's see the Reaver. The new Reaver should be out in a few seconds, maybe like 5 seconds. The Nexus is not necessarily dead, but I think earob is just too far behind. Yeah, GG.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of like one of the textbook cases of how PvP tends to go, where you sometimes rock, paper, scissors, and like earob, and you'll get behind like earob was, where earob was playing really defensive while Baal just kind of was greedily, like they built up they got their expansion, they built up their gateways, they kind of skipped all their tech just to have a really strong posture there, and then you know, misposition slightly and misread the situation, and it opens up for that was the opening that Baal needed to just like come in and start you know, steamrolling over earob's defenses there.
Seems like next map is going to be Polypoid.
Alright.
Alright, game is up. Who the hell? Someone intercepted our game.
Well,
Earob saying that someone came in his room and distracted him while Baal was attacking.
yeah.
Probably set up by Baal. He wants to win badly.
Yeah.
Even going with the off-game meta. Just mind games to your opponent, distract him.
The oh. Okay, looks like everything's going well. The like message your opponent's roommate to go in and bother them during a match strategy is definitely an interesting one. So credit to Baal there for thinking that one up.
Yeah, I mean, it probably took a lot of setup.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you have to respect the preparation.
Yeah, now he probably also has scheduled in 5 minutes. He'll ping the person again, asking them to go in earob's room and bother them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, map number 2 is Polypoid, and we've got earob in the top left, spawning in the red color. And we've got Baal in the top right, spawning in the blue color. Yeah, it's game number 1. Even though it was very decisive win for Baal, I wouldn't really say that Europe is out of it. Mostly because, as you say, the build order was Europe was kind of hedging his bets on doing a lot of damage with that speed shuttle, and it was unfortunate that Baal went for A, fast expand, and B, attacked right as the river was moving out.
Right, and I think in a normal situation because Bale was actually like mentioned this in the post game chat that they were just poking, and then they saw that the shuttle was gone and they decided to fully commit to the attack. And I think that is just a unfortunate time where earob their plan is to catch up with that speed shuttle harassment. Bale did a really good job of just like sort of staying on top of their opponents and leveraging the fact that they had no reavers out, and they took a fast expand to be able to just build up that gateway force and be able to poke in and take advantage of, erob's kind of slipping up there. It was maybe a misread by erob's part. They probably should have waited for the second reaver to be ready to defend before moving their first one out. But hindsight's 2020. And
yeah, but also I don't really blame Euro for leaving a bit earlier, because that is 2 or 3 fewer dragoons that your opponent will have to defend. And sometimes that makes a difference. Europe, interestingly, is scouting the middle again, whereas Baal went for a cross scout.
Yeah, Polyploid, it's difficult to 2-gate in the center, but not impossible. So if you're depending on your scout pattern, it can be worth it to just dip it, kind of like in Sylphid, where you just want to dip in the center just to be safe, and it doesn't really mess up your scout timing. That seems to be about what earob decided there as well. Luckily, earob does get the first scout moving over to the right. And neither player really doing anything tricky, just more standard, more standard PvP stuff. Although earob is getting a second gateway out a little bit quick.
Baal, very unfortunately, he's scouting. He went cross map and then he went to the 50-50 where earob wasn't, so he's gonna scout him last. And that probe might actually not go into scout. I'm not sure. No, seems like he is committing. Okay, so Baal just wanted to check the center of the map, and now he's going home. So what Baal is currently doing, especially with his unlucky build, if earob was going for something like a 12 Nexus, Baal's in big time trouble.
Baal's gone up to 4 gateways before any sort of attack.
Yeah, for 4 gateways, and he's cutting probe production. So I think, yeah, it's gonna be another all-in by Baal.
Honestly, earob's macros are pretty good. They're leading into the army count right now. So Baal will have about maybe 1 or 2 production cycles before earob, before they'll Baal have 1 or 2 production cycles to sort of overwhelm earob before that robotics facility and then the support base finishes up and the reavers will be online. But earob making a really good decision here of moving his units out to sort of distract and delay Baal's move forward. And if he can pick off this dragoon first thing, that's huge.
First dragoon for earob, but that is massive. 2 dragoons. Now he really needs to back up.
Yeah.
3 dragoons for a single dragoon. That would have been great, but one of the dragoons got caught. And with only 2 dragoons to defend against the 4 gateways of Baal, I'm not sure. He probably knows that it's more than...
Baal, he's pulling out the roommate strats. Oh, never mind. No, it's the headphone strats this time.
It happens in a live game. Everything.
So the robo is at about halfway done at this point. And earob, I mean, even though earob lost a lot of their defensive units, they're still considering like the 2 dragoons that just came out, they're about still even in dragoon count. It's just like a single zealot that is making the huge difference. If earob kind of retreats to the high ground and just holds that ramp, they should be completely safe from the attack here, and then Baal is in a pretty awful position where they've invested so much into the early gateway.
Oh, he really needs to retreat to the high ground, but Baal not being very careful with his unit movement will play a few units, which is currently working in favor of earob, because the only thing earob really needs is time. If he can buy a few more seconds, that will be good for his Reaver to be out. Very, very nice arc.
Yeah, oh no, one Dragoon almost rallied into his opponent, but I mean, like, yeah, Baal has twice as many gateways as their opponent, but they only have a 1 Dragoon lead. earob just going ahead and getting that second Nexus out, because the Reaver is only going to pop any second now. Really good targeting here by Baal, thinning out earob's Dragoon count, and they will be able to push forward, but the Reaver's out, so that should stop this attack dead in its tracks.
earob probably thinks that this is 3 gateways by Baal, so he's still trying to micro. And honestly, if Baal did not lose these 2 to 3 Dragoons that he bled, he might have... Well, he definitely would have been able to overpower. He might still be able to, but it's gonna be very close.
Yeah. Okay, great hit. The Dragoons trying to get on top of the Reaver, but don't really get... They don't manage it. Scarabs dealing massive damage, and yeah, earob just gets away with it. They'll have their expansion out.
Yeah, and Baal is in an awful position here. He has not been making probes, and he was kind of hoping that this 4 gateway just ends the game right away, and he might
he has
still
no
try.
Tech. Yeah, no tech, no expansions, like no army. It's like it's earob's game to lose at this point. They're even throwing a shield battery down just to be entirely safe. But yeah, is there actually any way that Baal can come out of this position that would, like, does earob have to right-click his Reaver into the middle of the map for Baal to catch up from here?
Yeah, pretty much. The only way for Baal to get back into the game is to wait for earob to make a mistake, but currently the one making mistakes is Baal, and as I said, he really is on a timer here, so he's just trying to press on.
Yeah. Yeah, so I feel like between the 2 games that we've seen, like, this game was particularly, I don't want to say telling, but it definitely it's interesting, right? Because Baal goes for the strategy that is it's entirely reliant on, like, your good macro for you to catch your opponent off guard and to, like, take them out, and we see that Baal's micro just didn't really follow through with it. Now again, earob had that decision to move out with his initial army to sort of stutter out Baal's forces was really smart. Being able to pick off a couple of Dragoons while doing it completely set the tone of the match in earob's favor, because that first set of Dragoons is the most important when you're doing a high pressure build like that 4 gate, because you're reliant on those Dragoons to start the pressure, and then you have your reinforcements keep it up and follow through with the rest of the attack. But if that first Dragoon wave gets stymied even a little bit, you don't have that beginning pressure for your reinforcements to follow through and end the game. And then what we saw there was things just went from bad to worse as earob just played patiently, played cautiously, got Dragoon pickoffs where they could, and they seem to have identified pretty early that it was literally all they had to do was survive the next 3 or so minutes, and the game was theirs.
Yeah, and Baal currently in the post-game analysis saying that he's unhappy that he's got stuck a bit a few times, but in his fairness, so did earob's Dragoon at some point. He caught one Dragoon for free just because of that button. But it was definitely... I think, if I'm honest, Baal did got a few too many workers. He could have got the pro production a bit earlier and had this timing slightly faster.
Right, yeah.
But as you say, by losing these initial Dragoons, you really never want to do that.
Yeah. It's almost like you just, when that happens, you have to switch strategies entirely. But that's the issue with the all-ins, is that you can't. You just have to double down and hope that you can get something done.
Yeah, I mean, well, when you're not really committed to the all-in, or when you have not gotten around to executing it properly, you could transition out, and the more time you spend executing the all-in, the harder it becomes to transition.
So maybe the play there was when that first trade-off happened. Maybe Baal just goes and makes their Nexus immediately. I don't. Yeah.
It is a difficult one, but.
But with the matches tied up in the bottom left corner of Neo Sylphid, we have our blue Protoss player Baal, and in our bottom right corner of Neo Sylphid, we have our red Protoss player earob.
And yeah, it's Sylphid is one of these maps where it's, for PvP especially, it's so, like, it's not as bad as Gladiator, but it's still not a great map.
Baal Baal's playing the correct matchup, sending the probe straight to the holiest of holies, the great proxy tree. Placing their pylon offering, we are going to get that center 9-9 gate, but...
Europe did scout the middle the previous 2 games. I wonder if he's going to do it right now as well.
Yeah, the pattern would say, and I even said on the last map that, you know, Sylphid is just one of the maps that you just always check the center because it doesn't even really delay your scout timing, but if earob...
No. earob is actually delaying his scout this game.
This is why. The blessings of the holy proxy tree have been bestowed upon Baal. His zealots will deal extra damage, they'll live longer, but here comes earob's scout, and we will see where he scouts. If he goes, I think if he clicks in the main of either base, the probe will circumvent the middle, and it looks like that is what's happening. It looks like he just clipped the top base.
Clicked the 12 o'clock. Oh my god, he's not gonna check the middle. He checked it in
completely missing it.
Oh my
right.
god.
This is an unparalleled disaster for earob. And unless he identifies that something is off, which again he won't be able to until he sees the third main, there's gonna be several zealots in his base, killing his dudes.
Oh, and gets the unfortunate scout as well. I don't know if he's gonna go. No, he's definitely not checking the middle now. There is only one place where his opponent has to be. The Zealots.
First Zealot on its
similar,
way.
But it's gonna be two Zealots against one. You can utilize that egg and some very good probe micro to hold, but it's gonna be so hard currently for Europe.
Oh, the Baal just walking the Zealot in, going straight to the probe line. Honestly, a great choice. Second gateway is coming down for earob, which again it's a little late at this point, but that is one of the ways you can help counter a 2-gate. Baal putting a pylon into the main so that they can start building a shield battery eventually.
Battery on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Baal really wants to build that shield battery and everything to
The first Dragoon does come out.
The earob, I think, is already behind on workers as well.
Oh, Baal throwing
two
out
shield
two
batteries
shield
by
batteries.
Baal.
Yeah, and they haven't lost a zealot yet.
Yeah,
they haven't lost a zealot.
10 health zealot. Can earob find it?
Oh, he does.
Yeah, very, very good targeting.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, Baal playing a little bit risky, but their shield battery does come down, and that is going to give his Zealot a lot more survivability. One Zealot and a Probe are trying to hacking away at the pylon, but...
The pylon is very close to going down. And this is the only thing powering the production for earob. Oh my god, pylon went down.
And the shield battery is also unpowered. Which this has to be a game, right? Like,
yeah, at this point. The saddest thing right now is even if that pylon gets up, the shield battery will still be unpowered. earob on only 6 workers remaining. Oh my god. 5 workers now.
Game by Baal, but
yeah,
man, earob. You have to, you have to be pretty frustrated with a game like this after both of the first 2 maps they scouted the center, and they decided not to in Sylphid, which is, like, that just has to be a bad call, unfortunately, because of the 3 maps played, Sylphid is the easiest one to proxy gates in.
Yeah, oh my god, so unfortunate.
Yeah, wow.
Let's see, Kiko should be around right now for the next match. Let me try and get a hold of him.
Alright. And this is going to be a PvT.
It's going to be a PvT, yeah.
Starting on our first map is going to be Polypoid.
I do not have Kiko in my friends list. So I can message him. No, he's here. He was just on the wrong realm.
Nope.
Alright, so game number 1 is going to be on Polypoid, I think. Let me confirm. Yeah.
So while we're getting this game set up for the viewers, of course we're gonna just do a little exclamation point donate, and if you want to help support the CPL and doing extra royales and just kind of keep the whole thing running, and help the wonderful staff members, set up the stuff that they have to. There's a little Ko-fi donate link. You can go to support the league.
Yep, every donation is very much appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
You have not really been around this season much, have you, Scimo?
No, yeah, I was hoping to cast more than I did, and then it just ended up like having a lot, like just being busy on almost every weekend past season.
Yeah, fair enough. I kind of disappeared in the middle, but that's kind of by this point, it's a trademark with me for all the CPLs. But other than the cast I'm doing right now for the CPL Royale, last week I discovered that my last Brood War game was in March.
Wow.
So it's been a while.
Oh. Yeah, though, to be fair, shoutouts to Aaron, who casted like several multi-hour streams a week while the league was going.
Game is up, by the way.
All right.
Yeah, Aaron, and there was also a few other casters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, looks like we're about to hop into
players
our...
are ready. We're starting the game. This season actually we have the most games casted by far. Some statistics from data. I think last week or was it 2 weeks ago we reached the 1 terabyte of games casted.
Wow, that's pretty great.
Yeah, a lot of CPL casts on the CPL YouTube channel if you have not caught up already and are looking for some CPL fix. Yeah, people starting to ask already about CPL 10.
Yeah, when is CPL 10?
I mean, I wish I could tell you. We got Escalate in the staff this time to help speed things up. More like to shut him down so he doesn't post a meme every day, but...
That's so what you're saying is I'm gonna have to message Escalade if the release date of CPL 10 leaks, you'll know who it is. That's why you brought him on?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if anyone wants to know anything about CPL 10, just ping Escalade.
Yep.
Alright, PvT this time. We've got Baal in the red, spawning in the top right corner.
And Kiko in the bottom right. Yeah.
This is gonna be a standard game. But yeah, I mean, CPL 10, we still have... The true thing is, we actually have a few things prepared before we're ready to really start get CPL 10 going, and one of them is the master classes. So currently with the donation pool that we had for CPL Royale, we had a few different goals, and one of them was that if we reach a certain amount, I think it was $200, if I'm not mistaken. So everything is on the web app with the goals, but I think up to $120 everything goes to the players for the prize pool of this tournament. And then if we reach 200, and we did so far, we pledged to organize three master classes for all different matchups. That's PvT, PvZ, and TvZ. We're gonna have a coach, and then we'll have them coach a few of the CPLers and go over replays and answering any questions whatsoever that they might have about that particular matchup.
Wow. Yeah, it's honestly like such a great opportunity for people looking to learn Brood War. You know, like we have coaches when the league is started. We have coaches like kind of on deck, but it really ends up becoming like sort of up to the team and up to like the coaches themselves and up to the players to try and organize like learning or sessions with their coaches on their teams. But having these sort of like larger events that are just open to the public and where anybody can just like hop in, ask questions, and just learn. They're really great. If I know that in like my time in the CPL, just like some of the largest things that you can learn from these types of things are just really simple like benchmarks that you have to hit. That are like I said, like it's nothing like complicated where it's, or like the idea of like it's, you know, like you have to memorize like a 15-step like, you know, flow chart of like what you have to do and when. Even like simple things like knowing like how to scout, right? Like what are you looking for when you're scouting to identify a build? And it really is like you're looking for, like you end up looking for one or two key pieces that you just need someone to tell you what you're looking for. And these sessions have been, in my opinion, that's some of the biggest takeaways for me.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And to link it to this game in particular, we had Kiko surviving with his 10 HP SCV hiding in the third base, and then the SCV came around to scout for the Protoss expansion near the 4-minute mark. And if you, as Terran, if you don't see Terran expanding by 420 the latest, you know that they are going for some one-base build. It might be Reavers or DTs or like a very heavy two-gun push or something. But Hiko saw that this was the case, so he knows that he can safely transition into his expansion, and he doesn't really need to get his turrets out immediately. But it seems like Baal will be going for a DT drop this game, and I think Kiko will. Yeah, his eBay is already done. His academy should be starting shortly, so he has scans, and he will be very prepared for the DT aggression. Should be already suspecting something because the Dragoons have not poked out yet, so he can confirm that there is no observer as of yet, and he's getting a very fast turret because of this.
Yep, setting up turrets both in the main and the natural, kind of just to be able to intercept wherever the DT or shuttle try to drop in.
Yeah, the thing
really
is, the thing is for Kiko, he knows that there is no observer yet because the mines have not been cleared, and the only really two things that Baal could be doing at this point in this particular timing is either walking DTs to Kiko's main base, and that's why we have the single turret, or building or going for a very fast Reaver. And that's why I have the turrets in the main base. We don't yet have scans, which will help us to deal with the DT drop later. But again, Kiko knows the timings and knows by what time the DT drop will hit, so he will. I reckon he's gonna have the scans available for that. Yeah, we had. Unfortunately, Kiko building two armories, and one of these buildings was intended to be an academy, so he cancelled that and started the academy a bit later. DT's already out, and if Baal was really committed to super fast DT drop, yeah, we already have some DTs in, but the DTs were unable to do any damage yet.
Yeah, there is a potential, like, maybe there was a way Baal could have gotten the Dark Templar wedged in a corner in the very back of the Terran's base, and without an academy they could just sit there indefinitely, but yeah, with just running them straight down from the top, they ran right into, you know, siege tanks.
Yeah, and Baal is expanding, so he's transition out of this is going to be big eco play. But I'm not sure that this would necessarily work, because he's both expanding and going up to 6 gateways. And getting a Stargate for the Arbiters. So he's kind of trying to do a bit of everything. and as a result, he's very light on units. He currently has 7 Dragoons, 8 Dragoons. That's his total army. So Kiko, if he attacks with his 5 siege tanks and a few vultures, can just win.
Yeah, Baal's extremely pressurable right now, but it looks like Kiko is just going to get their 3rd base up, which, if that happens, then yeah, Baal just kind of gets away with, you know, meandering their mid game.
Yeah, so Baal very wisely forcing Kiko to use his scanners and going for that Arbiter Tribunal, so Arbiters will be out and Kiko will very shortly have only 2 scans available to push, so if Baal can intercept Kiko's army out on the map with his Arbiter and then force him to scan twice, he will buy a few more seconds, which is all you really need before you can get going. So Baal has the correct idea how to prevent Kiko's push, but I don't know if the execution will be correct. You can also see that he's very light on probes. He only has 9 mining his 3rd base and only 7 mining minerals at his control.
Yeah, like what's the sort of the supply benchmark is that if the Terran and Protoss are even, the Terran's ahead. So we are getting to a point where Baal might be able to explode their supply ahead of Kiko, but Kiko only being 16 supply down is really good for them.
I mean, Kiko is already on 3 bases, and so is Baal, and as a Protoss, you don't really want to be on equal bases against a Terran ever. Kiko going for a starport and control tower. I think that would be for a very fast dropship, because Kiko just loves using these. And not a science vessel, but it might be a science vessel just because he's so low on scanners. Kiko's army, though, is looking scary right now. He's up to 8 tanks. And he's gonna have +1. Oh no, he already has +1 weapons. He has Starcraft +2. They will soon have a single stasis. And yeah, okay. Kiko went for that sand vessel.
Now Baal leading up with their dragoons. They have like a dragoon task squad just coming out by themselves, which generally you don't want to do as Protoss. They're really the dragoons are really vulnerable out on the map with no zealot reinforcements. The Arbiter is just kind of incidentally flying over them.
I mean, you want to set up an arc where your zealots are nearby, but you don't really want to be supporting your dragoons. Oh, but we're going for an engagement right now. The single stasis is used 3 times, or in stasis some very good zealot bombs, but is this going to be enough? Baal has flooded his gates, but he does not have zealot speed yet. I think that was a bit of an oversight from Baal. Just forgetting that upgrade is quite critical.
Great defensive matrix, and it looks like this attack from Baal is going to be cleaned up. And Kiko didn't lose any critical infrastructure. All those SCVs at that base are still alive. They still have a, 7 or 8 tanks once that stasis wears off. And all Baal can do is kind of filter in reinforcements. But lol, I forgot zealot speed. GG. Hey. Yeah.
Yeah. I was wondering if Baal actually realized that he did not have zealot speed, because sometimes, especially when you go DTs, because you get your citadel so early, you kind of go into an autopilot mode where you assume that zealot speed was done. but it really wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's classic Starcraft, right? Is just you forget an upgrade, take a fight, and then like right after the fight you go, hold on a minute, this wasn't supposed to happen, and you just yeah. Look, I've forgotten Dragoon range in PvP before, so I understand. It's a hard game.
Yeah, I have had a few ZVPs where I was very close to winning, and I was wondering why I couldn't win, and then started taking up winning the fight, and that was just because I didn't have my Dragoon range. Okay, just checking how the players felt with the latency and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so waiting for next map now.
Yeah. Baal's choice. Baal sounds like Vermeer.
Yeah, Baal picks Vermeer.
Alright.
So that's gonna be game number 2.
Alright, let's look at it. Now, Vermeer is really it's just spicy polypoid. It's, you know, your strategy on the maps are going to be very similar. I guess there's enough differences that it makes up for it, but yeah, it's in that.
Polypoid is actually at the pro level. It's close to 50% in PvP, whereas Vermeer is actually 55 for Terran.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, it's slightly Terran favored, but it's basically balanced, and that's at the very top of the scene.
It's kind of they're all in that genre of map of hey, fighting spirit, but let's have it be actually good.
Yeah, and also like fighting spirit. One thing that is horrible about the fighting spirit is the third base and the bridges, and both of these things thankfully are not present in at Vermeer. I think what actually makes Vermeer slightly more Terran favored compared to Polypoid is all the ledges that you have, and if you just set up turrets with tanks and mines there, it's so unbreakable position for Protoss. They really need to figure something else. And incidentally, that is why we have been seeing a lot of carrier play on Vermeer.
Yep. I think you're still on the splash screen on stream.
Oh no.
Oh.
Good thing that earob is in the chat.
Yeah,
you're here as well.
Yeah.
I have actually, the very first time I think, or the second cast I did ever for CPL, was let's say a podcast.
No, just narrating the game they can't see. It's like this is a cast for putting your headphones in and walking away.
Yeah, I mean there's when the football leagues or like UEFA and Champions League, when they're going on, they're broadcast over the radio as well, so you can follow the games. You don't really need to see the players.
Yeah. Well, Kiko getting their first scout in, sees that their opponent is not doing anything too interesting. Whereas Kiko is going for, it looks like a gasless expand here. Yeah, no Zealot coming out from Baal.
Yeah, and Kiko going for that super fast expansion. It's not 14cc, but it's basically as early as you can get it for turn and still be safe.
Is that command center like a square too far down? It looks off center.
I'm actually not entirely sure. It could be. I think, yeah. Actually, I think it is. But the good thing about CC is they can fly.
That's true. If this was if Kiko was a Protoss player, you just leave the game from that.
Oh yeah, it's definitely off center.
Yeah.
Let's see if Kiko will realize though. Sometimes,
yeah,
even though your buildings can fly, sometimes you don't realize it.
Yeah, this could be a big like handicap in Baal's favor if Kiko doesn't realize their command center is too far down and their mining from the base gets knocked off, and it's just about to finish. So I guess the moment of truth.
Okay.
He doesn't notice it.
Yet. Oh, Baal loses the scouting probe, but at least confirms the CC.
Yeah, he does see it. And it was an extremely fast CC, so Terran is ahead on basis for the moment.
Oh yeah, I mean, Baal saw the CC done and SV's mining it. He's definitely not happy about this. Let's see what his follow-up will be though.
SCV gets in, gets the full scout. Baal just more playing economic catch-up, so no, like, there's no hidden tech here for this SCV to see. It's all pretty standard, like, Protoss builds. Dragoon getting caught by the probes. But this SCV should get taken out here. Yep.
And the scary thing when Terran gets their CC so early is that if you really want to make the game even, your best strategy is to go for second expansion, which is I think what Baal is currently doing. But at the same time, Kiko's armory is super fast and he can go up to 5 factories with the +1, and then he can muster a very scary push onto bases because his CC was up and mining so early that his timing will be slightly faster, and you had spend 400 minerals into defending into third base as Baal, you're really in a very bad spot. Kiko sending his SCV out on the map, and I think that SCV's purpose will be to try and confirm whether there is a third base up and running or up and started yet, and based on that information, Kiko will add either a single factory or many factories.
No tricks from Baal this time, just going straight for their observatory.
Is the CC off center? Seems like the SCV is mining at the natural or mining very efficiently.
Yeah, maybe that is just... It just looks like the distance between that top mineral patch and the CC is way too far, but... Yeah, I guess maybe that is actually on center. What a peculiar mining pattern.
Yeah, and Kiko confirmed that third base is up and running, and he wants to add that fourth factory, but he currently does not have the gas because he was mining his main gas for so long with only a single SCV. He forgot to put the second and third SCV back. But he will be adding. He will be going up to 4 factories, and if he really wants to make this an all-in, he will get a 5th factory as well. Seems like 4 now, he's fine with 4 factories.
I like Baal putting the pylons down on where Kiko's potential expansions are. Just keeping, you know, complete, like, perfect tabs on their opponent, and ensuring that, like, if Kiko wants to expand out, they have to send something out there to help the SCV kill the pylon.
Interestingly, though, Kiko is going for a starport, but Baal has not confirmed the factory count or the strategy by Kiko.
That's true, the observer is just kind of sitting outside of the base.
Yeah, right now, Kiko could have had like 5 or maybe at this point even a 6th factory, and he could have been preparing for a very massive push. But seems like with that starport, we will just have an upgrade turn. This time with Kiko's trademark dropship, because that control tower is up way too early for this to be a science vessel. Let's see if Kiko starts the dropship. No, maybe it was just for a science vessel, but he started the control tower slightly earlier.
Could just be an early timing. Kiko moving out to, you know, get their forward defenses started so they can take this 3rd base easily. Yeah, the observer does see all of this happening.
Kiko confirms that Baal's army is not out on the map yet. So he's basically happy about this.
Yeah, I think, yeah, Kiko hasn't really been sending vultures out to mine around the map, so he's kind of zoning Baal out for free without the... Well, I guess now these vultures will start laying some mines out, but Baal hasn't been really aggressive. They've just been staying back, ensuring that, like, they aren't going to die to a random push. They haven't been, you know, sending Dragoons into siege tanks, but they also really haven't been accomplishing anything. Both players just kind of macroing up, but Kiko is already getting into that sort of higher tech trees. Like, they have +1 finished. I'm assuming they'll be starting +2 here any moment. Baal, meanwhile, like, they're getting up their first upgrade for their units, but they don't really have any other tech. There's no, there's the Citadel, but there's no Templar Archives, there's no Stargate. So... yeah, I'm not really sure what to make of this.
Yeah, we were going up to 9 gateways for Baal. We could get a few more if we're going pure gateway man, or if we're not, we are really late on the starport and the Templar Archives. Kiko only now starting his, or only now finishing his 2nd armory. He will have 2-1 very fast. Mitak saying, what is this match? This is CPL Royale Phase 3. It's a 1-day tournament. And the winner of that gets seeded into the grand finals for the CPL League. I think your name is relatively new to CPL, so if you're not familiar with CPL, it's a Coach-Pupil League. That is players of even skill level are being matched every single week to play against each other, and what we have right now is a set of series that of matches that is for the best players in CPL.
Do we have like is there a command that will bring up sort of some of the relevant links for CPL, or?
Unfortunately no, but cplbw.com, if you go there, you will get all the information about CPL.
Yep. Links to the Discord server. Yeah, and it's, you know, you'll be coming in a little bit early, but eventually we will be having CPL 10, which you'll be able to see.
Massive engagement going on right now.
Yeah.
Baal embracing his gateway map for a second time. This time he has Zeld legs. His Dragoons are dead though, so he really needs to back off. And
yeah.
He's not backing off. He's losing all his Dragoons.
I think that's going to be another GG.
Eco has 7 times, so maybe not enough to push. But Baal is definitely in a pretty bad spot.
Yeah.
Especially,
you know,
because of the lack of tech right now.
Yeah. When you are taking those engagements as Protoss, you're able to overpower the Terran as long as you have Zealots left. But the second those Zealots are like gone, you have to move the Dragoons out, or they will get nothing done, and you'll lose all of them. And now, yeah, Baal's gonna have to like completely restock their army, and that's going to be close to impossible.
Yeah, the Zealots are mainly there to force the Terran to be fighting, to be splashing his own units. And also they don't take full damage from the siege tanks. The Dragoons are nice supplementary damage to try and kill off the siege tanks, but definitely the main thing that is killing the Terran army is the Terran army.
Yep.
Kiko attacking one of his supply depots doesn't really like it.
Yeah. He's decided its usefulness is no longer needed.
It's not providing any supplies anymore.
Yeah, he's already built his army. He doesn't need any more supplies. At 160 as a Terran, you don't need any more than that.
Yeah, 160 and 2-1. He's got 2-3 on the way, basically. Terrans, all Terran can ask for. Oh, Baal trying to sneak an expansion, but Kiko intercepting immediately with a vulture.
Yeah. Baal does have their 4th base up. They're getting their Stargate, so and Templar Archive, so we should be seeing the Arbiter Tribunal up here pretty soon. And Arbiters are like one of those units where they can, you know, work correctly. They're, you know, well, they can steal wins out from their opponent. So, you know, Baal is catching back up in supply, but, you know, it's that same old thing where if the Terran is... If the Protoss and Terran are even on supply, the Terran's ahead. If the Terran's ahead, the Terran is winning. And so, yeah.
Baal actually not going for Arbiters, it seems. He's got Fleet Beacon on the way and 2 more Stargates. But... I'm not sure if... So carriers, when you're even on supply with Terran, what you want is carriers. Because carriers are... They scale very well.
Yeah.
But with that big blunder that Baal did earlier, I'm not sure if carriers are gonna be enough to make the difference.
Yeah, but so the
Terran is already on 180 supply.
Right. But they only have a couple of... Oh, here comes another big push from Kiko. Yeah, this is probably going to be a game ender here. Baal might be able to get the carriers out to repel the first wave of the attack, since there aren't that many Goliaths mixed in with the army, and a handful of them are overextending and just getting torn up by the Zealots. But once Kiko knows that his opponent is building carriers, that's going to be 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 factories pumping out Goliaths, constantly, and yeah, I don't think Baal will be able to overcome that.
Oh wow, Bale's army managed to kill off 2 mines before they detonated, so that is a small victory, but unfortunately not going to be enough. Nico will very soon have 3-2 ready.
Yeah, and Bale's only on +1 attack.
They're going for a counterattack, but does not have quite enough units to execute that counterattack correctly. And Kiko has an army of 14 siege tanks right now going near Box's rally. Very good zealot bombs are intercepting the reinforcing tanks, but unfortunately it's just too many Terran units.
Yeah. And it's really funny, like, there are unsieged tanks covering the siege tanks, because it turns out, even when they're unsieged, tanks are really powerful.
Yeah, and Baal has 2 carriers out already, but they don't have any interceptors. Only a single interceptor in these carriers.
Yeah, and so
not gonna cut it.
Yeah, Kiko can basically just unsiege these tanks, move them. Actually, this one posse of tanks is going to come down and completely wipe the third base there. But yeah, all they have to do is kind of just move away from the carriers and wait for a round of Goliaths, which is on the way right now. And yeah, Baal won't be able to defend this. All their money is going to have to go into carriers.
Goliath with a D-Matrix managed to get one of the carriers to half health. Just because they did not have any interceptors, but the Goliaths are arriving right now. There's some Goliaths streaming, but there's not enough actually. There's only 3 Goliaths reinforcing this. So Baal will push this back for the time being, but his third base has been compromised, and he also does not have a fourth base right now. So really, he only has the mining from his natural, which is not a lot, and Kiko will soon be able to just overwhelm this army. He just needs to weather the first 1 or 2 attacks by Baal and then out-survive that.
Yeah, Goliaths are pretty good units, so with the economic advantage that Kiko has.
Especially 3-2 Goliaths.
Yeah, it shouldn't be any issue for them to secure the win in this game. But Baal, being on like sort of the knockout point, is going to do their best to stay in as long as possible.
Yeah, and the fun thing is Kiko actually has the Goliath counter he needs.
Yep, but with the Zealots supporting the carriers on the ground, it makes it so that no matter which way the Goliaths fire, they're going to get cleaned up by one of the 2. But again, Baal just has to be careful, and once the Zealots... Yeah, those mines clean up all the Zealots, and now the Goliaths have completely free reign to chase the carriers down, and there's not a lot of abusable high ground for them to hide behind in the center of the map here. Yeah, I mean...
there's not as many ledges on this map as there are on Bullet Point, for example.
No, like, big open spaces that the carriers can retreat away from the Goliath from. Carriers are going to try and take out that command center, but honestly the Goliaths are just putting out way too much damage. We're up to 6 carriers, though, which is a lot, but again, it will take a really good micro from Baal to beat this army. And then a couple of miracles, because Baal is only long distance mining at this point.
If he had any mining left, maybe he could make a miracle happen, but currently with his long distance mining I don't really see it, but let's see. Carriers are good units, but how good are they against these Goliaths?
Well played. Wow, so that is back-to-back eliminate, or our round 1 our first best of 3 player eliminating our second best of 3.
Yeah, and we are now waiting for our next player, Silent Storm, to join and face Kiko. That might be the point actually where I will need to hand over the stream to you. But let's see when.
Just in time for a TVT, thanks.
Yeah, just in time for all the TVTs. It's a bliss.
All right, let me.
The issue is that if Sandstorm does not appear in the next 5 minutes or so, I will not have enough time to make it to the next tournament, which is, given that it's DVT and these tend to take a long time.
Yep. So I'll take over from here. Let me finish setting up my. I'll set up my overlay here so that you can see what's going on. So this is going to be Kiko versus Silent Storm. And then we have Vermin and Ozzy in round 4. Alright, now. Alright, I'll go ahead and start my stream up.
Alright.
And let me make sure that it is ready, good to go. CPL9 Royale Phase 3. Okay, so that should now be up over on my channel.
Yep, I'm gonna host you soon.
Yeah. And
when we figure out where Soundstorm is.
Yeah, because what's the rule if they don't show up?
So they were told what time they need to show up, and Soundstorm seems to be not here, so I'm coordinating with Kiko right now, but probably we're gonna give Soundstorm 10 or 15 minutes to show up, and if not, Kiko can take the walkover if they want.
Alright. Well, and for anybody who is watched right now, while you're waiting, you can check out if you're interested in participating in CPL events and potentially CPL10, which is coming in the future at some point. You can go to cplbw.com. All the relevant links for the league are there, including the Discord link for you to be able to participate there. Lots of great information, lots of great discussions are had. It's honestly the best way to learn the game, to get into it's the best way to play the game in my opinion, is participating in events like this. And then additionally, if you're in the CPL or you want to support Foreign Brood War, you can donate to the staff to keep the league running, and it helps support things like the website, and helps compensate people for the time that they spent, for the time that they put into the league to make it like as high quality as it is.
Yep.
Because while CPL is obviously a huge passion project for everyone involved. We all love the game. It also is. It's just nice to be able to support the scene through that.
Yeah, I have. I'm just not very good with this. So thanks for.
Yeah, I can e-bag. Yeah, don't worry, I got you. It's
Thanks for plugging it instead of me.
yeah. Because it does seem like yeah, it does seem like we are having some difficulty still getting Silent Swarm
Yeah.
into the game.
While we try to get a hold of Soundstorm, I can. There was a single replay from the phase 2 that was not casted, so we can do that.
Sure, we can. Yeah, and then if
for the people in the stream.
Yeah, and then if Silent Swarm, that gives us a good deadline for if Silent Swarm isn't around by then, we can, I guess, give Kiko the walkover.
Yep. And I have reached out to his next opponent if Soundstorm is not here. You want to join me in the replay?
Yep, I'll be right there.
And that might be a good time to transition to your stream, right as we're
starting
the replay.
Yep, and honestly, it would also, give me a moment to, just check all the settings on my stream if anybody has any, make sure that there's no issues there, because without a doubt, I usually always get some type of technical failure. What is my stream link? My stream link is twitch.tv/SCIMO__.
Okay, that should be easy enough. Let's see if I can post you. Are you live right now?
Yep.
Do you have Starcraft in your game category?
I should. Let me. Yep.
Interesting. Can't find you, but I'm gonna raid you. There we go. So we created the raid, and if everybody can join Scimo for the raid, that would be great. And we're moving over to his stream right now.
All right. Hello. Welcome to this stream now.
The stream takeover has been completed.
There we go. All right. Yeah. So whenever you want to get started on this replay, we can hop into it. As you can see, my overlay is not as nice as yours, but we tried.
Yeah, we're starting, and let me try to get.
Alright, in our top right corner as our red Protoss, we have Ozzy Dahaki, and the bottom left corner as our blue Zerg, we have Vermin.
Yeah, and Ozzy currently... Ozzy and Vermin are actually the two people waiting in the highest
Wow. Okay. So they are
two positions. So we are going to see right now a match that the match that determined who gets the final seed or the highest seed in that tournament.
All right. And Ozzy sending a probe out. Looks like it'll just be the standard pylon right at the corner of their base.
Yeah, an interesting position for that pylon. On this map, you can make two walls. One of them is with the pylon over there, and the other one is the pylon one hex to the right and one hex to the bottom. Currently, what Azzy has done is the links will be able to walk underneath the pylon and also over the pylon and between the forge.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's not tight at the bottom. But the gateway with the egg is tight. The only thing is the gateway is tight with the egg when the gateway is finished.
Not
If
at
the
this
gateway
moment,
is
yeah.
building, there is a one link gap between the gateway and the egg.
Wow. Isn't Brood War building collision? It's just fascinating.
Yeah, it's
way that it
honestly the
works.
best.
Yeah. But I personally, I'm a huge fan of gateway first openers. It's just one of those aspects where you have to. It's one of those skill testing, aspects of the game where it's the risk is much higher because if your micro isn't on point, it's a lot easier for Zerglings to get into your main and just kill all your probes. But getting those first couple of zealots out so early and getting that harassment on the Zerg, or even just forcing the Zerg to respect that you can have like zealots over in their base, it's really good. I think it gives the Protoss a lot more reach than the Forge variations that I just think it works out better.
Yeah, the only thing about the gateway openers, and I suppose why they were figured out so late into the Brood War history, is that they are very susceptible to Ling all-ins and just to very heavy Ling aggression. It's difficult for the gateway, the procs that open with the gateway to hold that properly. It relies on a lot of micro.
Yeah, the Zealot wasn't tucked in the corner quite as well as they could be, and they traded one Zealot for one Zergling. So, not the best harassment there.
As it really needs his third pylon, which is building right now, because once that Zealot is done, he cannot start his fourth Zealot, and luckily for him, Vermin is not really applying pressure with these links, because he had a lot of links that he could have used to apply pressure.
Right, like with the
yeah, he had 7 links. They could have knocked down the gateway.
Said Vermin just getting into their lair. And we'll see if this is going to be Mutas or Hydralisks here in just a couple moments. If it's Hydralisks, the den should... If they're going Hydras, the den starts at around 50% for the lair. Is that correct? I feel like I've heard that before, but...
So that is if they're going very fast lurkers, you want to start your Hydra Den when your lair is 50%, and that way your lair and your Hydra Den finish at the same time.
Ah, okay.
But this seems to be a normal 3 hatch into Spire, so most likely we're gonna have Spire being built as soon as the lair is done, and Hydra Den should follow not long after.
We have a little drone party going on in the natural. They're just hanging out, having a good time. They're on their break.
Vermin tries to confirm the Zealot count with his links.
Yeah.
very dangerous dance for both parties right now. In the middle of the map.
Ozzy getting a Stargate. No Citadel of the Dune on the way quite yet. But that is a lot of Zerglings running across the map.
Yeah, thankfully he has 2 Zealots in the gaps to block, and the Zealots make it in cannon range safety.
Looks like a probe did get a scout off on Vermin's base, so that Ozzy confirms that it is just the Spire play at the moment. Doesn't see a Hydra Den in production quite yet. Scouts the 3rd base. So everything seems to just be looking towards the Mutalisks. And Ozzy throwing down the photon cannons in their natural and a couple in their main, which is how you respond to Mutalisks.
Yeah, when Ozzy went to confirm the Spire, he saw that there was no gas taken at the natural, so he probably... 2 cannons is a bit of an overkill at the natural, but he's playing safe because he killed a lot of links, and he sees that he forced Vermin to make a lot of links early, so he's currently ahead in terms of economy, so he can afford to build an extra cannon. And a probe snipes a drone at the main base.
Absolutely. It does look like Vermin is getting the Hydra Den as the probe dies, so if Ozzy isn't careful, he might get surprised by a Hydra attack.
Yeah, we're going +1 Carapace for the Mutals.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. It seems like they might just be foregoing the Mutalisks entirely, and just going straight into Hydralisks, where you know, you are baiting the Protoss into, you know, building the extra cannons near the minerals where they won't help defend against Hydralisks, and building all of these extra Corsairs that won't help defend from Hydralisk. So yeah, that's really interesting. It's a really interesting decision here by Vermin. They have a bunch of minerals and gas stocked up, and they're just, yeah, pumping straight Hydralisks, adding on an evolution chamber. And yeah, Ozzy pokes in, sees the Hydra Den, immediately retreats, and yeah, they're going to continue building Corsairs, because now the goal of the Corsairs is not going to be to defend from Mutalisks, but to pick off as many Overlords as possible to stunt the Hydralisk aggression. Basically, any Overlord that's, you know, sort of by itself out on the map is going to get picked off by these Corsairs. Lots of gateways being added on. 5 extra gateways starting up. 3.
And also we have 6 Corsairs.
Yeah, the Corsair count is something that, like, the Zerg just has to respect. You'll sometimes, like, the Corsair count being healthy is also really important to prevent the Zerg from doing, like, a muta switch. I would like to see the Corsairs a bit more active out on the map. Once you get about 6 or so, especially since they have +1, they start to be almost immune to Scourge. But you definitely could be picking off some of these stray Overlords that aren't really, you know, that aren't defended, and that would help a lot. We actually, oh, okay, never mind. We do see a big muta switch. 9 Mutalisks coming out from Vermin. as well
As
as
in
Lurker
not dropping a probe for his Sayers though.
Oh yeah.
They're
So it
not
is just
stacking
raw.
as well as they could be, so they might some Scourge connections might happen with these Sayers.
Yeah, and now he does see the Mutalisks actually, so the Mutalisks is not going to be a surprise for Ozzy. And you can see that they kill the Overlord and immediately start beelining back to the base because they know that with the Corsairs are out on the map, the Mutalisks are going to try to get in. They actually
The 9 mutas
halfway.
that Vermin actually got right now, they are mostly for sniping High Templars, because 9 mutas is the magic number and basically they can one-shot a High Templar.
But it looks like the mutas might get trapped in a corner here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, one Scourge does connect. The mutas are about to fly over.
Oh, they see High Templars. Let's see. Oh, one of the mutas missed.
Yeah, doesn't look like they even attacked any of the High Templars. Oh wait, nope. Yep, there is a wounded one. Yeah, one missed. Storm is just now starting up. And they're taking their 4th base as the Protoss is saturating their 3rd.
But now that actually Azzy has +1 armor, it's gonna take 10 mutas to one-shot a single High Templar.
Yeah, that's like all those mutas and they only killed one Templar, so not a great position for a Zerg player here.
Azzy saying that he forgot his Storm upgrade this matchup. Yeah, you can kind of see that Storm is not done yet.
Yeah. Plus,
but it will be done for the attack then. The High Templars did what they needed to do. They baited out all the mutas, and the mutas are dead right now.
Right. Here comes a big push from Azzy, just trying to wedge up. They might, what might end up happening is they can see if they can eat away at this. Very nice turn.
Oh, no Overlord speed yet for Vermin.
These storms have been amazing. Basically killing almost, at the very least, weakening up all these Hydralisks. And now, yeah, this is the move. Ozzy is going to, take an engagement there, and then they get this 4th base for free while Vermin is rebuilding their defense.
Very wise by Ozzy, knocking down the 4th. He should be able to kill it before Nullers are able to reinforce. No enough storms though, so maybe we can kill the hatchery and then run away. Oh no,
this is a pretty clear victory for Ozzy here. These Hydralisks will clean up this attack force, but I mean, there's a huge reinforcement waiting back up the map.
We only have one High Templar too. Would have been great if we could save some of the High Templars.
Right.
But we saved some zealots, and at this point we should take whatever we can have. As he's already
right, and the great thing about this is they also blocked, messed up some of the movement on the Hydra. So they got a couple of, free damage, free kills on the retreating Hydras.
Now, Azzy going up to 12 gateways right now.
And adding on their 4th base. Putting them solidly ahead of their opponent.
Yeah, in PvZ, if you're one base ahead of the Zerg, you have nothing to worry about.
Like, naturally, the Zerg should always be one base ahead of their opponents, so if you're ever even, you're feeling really good, and if you're one base ahead...
Well, finally when Zerg gets up to high tech, they really can match Protoss bases and still be fine. Just because high units are so good efficient.
But I mean, looking at this, like, these are Dragoons fighting up ramp against lurkers and hiders and
so many missed shots by the Dragoons, but it doesn't matter as it just has way too much.
Yeah.
He's been doing a great job macroing out of. Oh my god, look at this Sim City.
Yeah. The Ozzy could very easily just walk across the map and an A move into, you know, the
yeah, it's a 100 supply lead right now.
Yeah. Zerg supply is efficient, but it's not that efficient. 6 lurkers being morphed outside the natural, but again, like, this is getting to the point where, like, Ozzy again just A moves in. Doesn't really matter. They have a really great mix of Dragoons and Zealots. They have Corsairs to help clean out the Overlords. And, yeah, I mean, that's...
Yep, and Soundstorm is back, but it seems like this game is close to resolution, so yeah.
Yeah.
A perfect timing by Soundstorm. He was getting it very close.
Yup.
The deal
wow,
was that if Soundstorm did not appear until the replay was over, he would be disqualified from the tournament. But he came 3 minutes ago, so yeah, really well done.
That's a preview of what our viewers and what our players have to look forward to in some of the later rounds.
Yeah, well, could be, or could be Kiko or Soundstorm versus Azzy in the end. Right, so the next... So for this round, the first map is Sylphid.
Alright, I'll go ahead and...
Kiko saying, imagine if the game was shorter.
Right.
5-4
it was like a 10-minute game at
2 games. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would have been unfortunate for Soundstorm. Okay, so I still have 6 viewers. I encourage everyone to go to Scimo, because I will be ending my cast right now. I'm gonna do another raid and I'm gonna close the stream. So if you'd like to follow the tournament, please go to Scimo's stream. I'll be back shortly.
All right.